Hello, Drew. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeremy. This is Ali. We're from Bree. Let's start by doing this the right way. So we're on Wurundjeri land here today. Our office stands on Wurundjeri country, and this site in Healesville is on Wurundjeri country. And as architects, we've got to do the best we can, especially in the results of the referendum. And we can talk about the things that we got right and didn't get right on this. So we did some consultation with the Wurundjeri. There was an early smoking ceremony at the opening of the building site, and there was a smoking ceremony. During the opening of this, there's an acknowledgement of the country on the front of the building, and there's some signage in language. I would be lying if I said that through our meetings with the Wurundjeri that building is what we want. It's a commercial building for a gin distillery. But our clients were interested in going on that journey, and we didn't really take it anywhere. So my apologies about that, particularly given some of the jury's experience on how to do that properly. Let's talk about gin. So 4 Pillars started with these 3 men and their partners. It's interesting that it shows these 3 bald guys and not their partners, because the person that engaged us was actually Cam's wife, Leah. And when they interviewed architects, we spoke at length to Cam and Leah about, what was their intention around sustainability. Was this going to be just another extension, for their burgeoning gin brand? So at that stage, they won a couple of awards for kind of internationally valued building the world's best gin company out of Healesville. And we talked to them about what were their broader aspirations as they were growing as an organisation. And we engaged them, I think, pretty successfully in that, so we won the job. At that point in time, they were out of this tiny kind of old shed in Healesville. They were making 600,000 bottles of gin a year, and it was just heavy. They were operating on 16-hour shifts trying to make that work. They couldn't make a bottle of gin out of it. It was gas pumped into the building, and we were kind of working with them about understanding how gin is made and the energy intensiveness of that. And so this is both a gin distilling facility, but also it's a hospitality and a kind of an engagement. Yeah, so they wanted to build brand through bringing people through and understanding the process of gin making.
And understand what's important to a brand.
Yeah. And then Yarra Rangers said that this is the tourist gateway to Healesville, everyone. This is what it looks like. There's a thirsty camel. There's a mechanic or a chainsaw mechanic next door to 4 Pillars 1.0, and then there's a petrol station. So that's the tourist gateway to Healesville as you come in on the Maroondah Highway. And so we talked, at length to our client and also Yarra Rangers. We did open work with our landscape architects, and we engaged Yarra Rangers in some urban design around what was happening with the street. And we can show you before and after photos of what the street was like. Getting some trees planted in there, some additional car parking, getting the cars off the street, getting a reduction in car parking, putting a basin in the building, putting any cars for staff in under there. And then also talking about, showing the Yarra Rangers Council pictures of the Prado Museum in the RC in Milan, showing what happens before you go and run a building in gold leaf and what happens after, And everyone sees the photos of the Prado Museum, but then, until you've been to that part of Milan, you're like, oh, this is a bit sketchy. This was, just, fences and bus parking around here before we came in here. Our design response, was about thinking about understanding how do you make gin. And so you take, let's call it ethanol, you put it into a vessel, you compress it, and you apply heat. And importantly, you apply botanicals, so different kind of things to flavour that ethanol. And then at the back end of it, the ethanol comes out transformed into the world's best gin. We wanted to take that and then use this as the kind of customer experience, or that opportunity to go to this place, be kind of compressed, be exposed to heat, and come out at the back end and be transformed. And remember that. So I'm going to take you through a quick kind of journey about how we took that conceptually and applied it to these things. So on the right, where we kind of cut the building off, existing 4 Pillars distillery there with gas in it. Our new building is 100% gas-free, of course, but this screen across the front, this veil, this is the unifying thing that ties those two things together. So there's one thing, an existing thing, a particular form. Our new thing, which matches that form, The existing shed covered with Boston ivy. Our building in textured precast concrete, built pretty quickly with the basement underneath, with all the cars hidden underneath it. That thing has got Boston ivy growing all over it. So they will eventually be two Boston ivy things. But in the foreground, there's this screen which runs across the front of the building, and we're calling it the copper veil. It's 1.6 kilometres of 13 mil copper, and through that, every time the stills get dumped, the hot water gets run through those. It's a radiator, so it gives off heat into the atmosphere, it cools the water, so that can be then reused, restored without being tepid and having a problem with Legionnaires, and it can be dumped into trade waste. That 80,000 litres a day gets reused in the stills again and again and again. So it saves 80,000 litres a day. It also saves the electronic aviator, which is basically a reverse air conditioner, a mechanical process to cool the water after that process, or a cooling tower.
It creates a visual brand and identity piece for these two very humble shed structures that sit behind it. The identity piece, it also speaks to the brand values of Four Pillars about sustainability, the copper, it creates, it holds the corner with a sense of identity to sort of, I guess, unify these two really humble structures.
It's also really nice in retail. And then number two, as you dump the stills, the botanicals that come out of the other side of the still come under this, what we're calling the Chai River. And so as you're walking into the building, once an hour, they dump the stills and it smells like botanicals coming up through, under your feet. You enter into the old part of the distillery to see the copper stills running, to do the tastings. And then you come back through into the moment of compression. Sorry, Ali's going to try and keep me the time. Into the entry chamber, a moment of compression, a moment of quietness. You step through that into the hospitality area. So Best Bar, which is all made from copper. The front of the bar is copper pipes cut in half and sawn out so they look like they're fluted. And then you can see from the bar down into the production area down. So the bottling line is down there, so you can see tens of thousands of bottles of gin being made down below there. You step through. So is that our time up?
1 minute.
Oh, cool. That's good. Into the gin garden, you can again look down to the bottling line and out into the trees. The only good thing about the Thirsty Camel is the oak trees in the back, and we get to look into that. So we've got this connection to landscape from that garden. And then you come out, of course, it's through the gift shop, and that's their retail experience through there. So we doubled their visitations. Well, we enabled that. They did it, but we helped them take it from $100,000 to $200,000. And we took their production, or enabled their production to go from 600,000 to 1 million bottles of gin a year. We took them on a journey about carbon neutrality and why that was important. Their entire organisation is now carbon neutral, not just this building. Everything new in this building is electric, including the commercial kitchen. We responded to their brand, understanding that. And we plumbed all of the gin from the production line directly to the bar and saved them 29 tonnes of glass a year. We also put in a stainless steel tank where they bring tonic water in a truck, pump it into the tank, and that gets plumbed to the bar directly. Historically, they were bottling gin and carrying crates up there. Okay, cool. Sorry, we just flipped through.
Thanks, Al.